Hey, what's going on? I had kind of a revelation. Oh no, I realized that I need to ask permission to do things, which is ridiculous. So here's an example. I have I had a 24 channel Soundcraft board in my basement connected to a 24 channel hard drive recorder so I could mix with the faders. And it was kind of real hands-on, real simple, kind of linear, point A to point B. It worked pretty well, but it was kind of getting old, and I couldn't really interface with other bandmates. I couldn't really send projects easily to them. It was really a hassle. So I decided to sell that board and get rid of my hard drive machines while I've still got them and get into software, which is a big scary thing to me. But I have gotten into Reaper and I've learned to really like it. But I didn't really add any plugins until recently. I just got a mastering plugin and it's blowing my mind. I'm also accessing the effects uh, options in Reaper, which are limited. But I was afraid of all this stuff. That's the point. So, what are you afraid of, and what's holding you back? I think there's a chance that is internal, and maybe you're afraid to really strum the guitar or play up the neck. Maybe you should take lessons with a private teacher or try a different instrument. I highly recommend getting a professional teacher and just see if you can get a rapport going. You often will get very attached to your teacher. You'll really like it, I think. Unless your teacher's kind of a drill sergeant, maybe you'll like that even more. That if somebody kind of orders you to practice more. But like I started taking lessons with a young guy named Serge, and he's very opinionated, but I love that. And he's got me, I was afraid to really try to shred. He's got me working on that. I'm not going to show you right now. It's a little early, not warmed up, but I am making progress with some deeper skill level with some faster playing. And I love that. It's more of like kind of a sport. I don't know how I will apply it to my gigging, but it is actually helping me understand the guitar better. And we're getting deeper into music theory, modes, scales, timing, and music history. So get yourself a guitar teacher that will maybe push you out of your comfort zone. Uh, I'd like to tell you another thing I was afraid of just yesterday. My partner Trevor in my duo, he's an excellent singer, and people come to hear him sing. My joke I made up is I'm just the driver and I carry the speakers and I get him on stage and then take him home. And they come to see him and they just tolerate me. Well, that's he's not able to make the gigs for a little while, so I'm kind of having to do these 3-hour gigs all by myself when I think everybody's there to see him. So yesterday I played a gig in a big ballroom, and we have a pretty good sized fan club that comes to dance. And I was like really nervous, man. I prepared for all week getting ready for it, like intensely. So, but as the gig drew closer, I really had a sense of doom about it. I have done solo shows recently that went very well, but this was a little different, felt different. I felt doomed, and I started playing, and I actually was so rattled that I was kind of fumbling the first maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But I was starting to get into the groove. I ended up really getting into it and I got some really good reviews from the fan club. That's more than I could have hoped for, really. They stayed to the end. And so I've had kind of a cough, and I was afraid I was going to, you've probably caught me coughing on the videos a little bit. But yeah, I didn't really cough or gag. I've just been kind of feeling weird through here. Uh, That being said, so I got through the gig and I really had a good time. And I did a lot of new and different songs, or some songs that Trevor sings. I just like, man, I'm taking control of this situation. So, what else? So I've overcome my fear of software, my fear of trying to play faster and get deeper into guitar, and got myself a teacher. I overcame the fear of doing solo gigs by myself. What do you need to overcome? What do you need to figure out? Sometimes my guitar students just seem like really intimidated by the guitar, and they want to kind of overanalyze it. I always say just get in and play. Like say like the E blues scale. If you say I really like the blues, but yet you're just kind of afraid to dig in, I would just do the blues scale. So you have my permission to explore the entire neck if that helps. Or try other things like maybe do an open mic or get with somebody and jam. You got to almost overcome, you're going to fail at something. So we all have limitations. Yeah, I definitely fail at steps on the way to getting to my goals. Oh, if I could just ramble a little more. I did a solo album a few years back, and I thought, well, what would it sound like if I had a guy with a studio in Los Angeles mix it? He did a good job, and it cost a lot of money. That record really did not do anything, but I had to find out. Yeah, I guess it was kind of a expensive lesson. But don't be afraid. At least I got those songs out of my system. I kind of wanted to use them for soundtracks or something. Nothing happened. Not much. But I did get the record out. So that was expensive. But whatever you can do to address your fears, I think they might be internal. It's in your head. And I think if we can identify those things, look them square in the eye, and go for it. It reminds me of the time I went skydiving. I literally thought I was going to die that day. I did not even hardly pay attention to the instructions because I just knew I was going to die. It was pointless to try. And I was so scared. I actually did not want to go, but I was so scared. My body was limp. I was absolutely petrified. And so I think I was the second one to go. Like the first lady went out. It was a tandem jump. I'm like, I knew she was dead immediately. I go, well, it's my turn. And my body was so limp with pure terror. I couldn't even resist. They just kind of shoved me out the door of the airplane, and we went head over heels. Pretty soon I'm like, I'm flying like Superman. This is pretty cool. And I literally walked around with a smile on my face for like a month after that. So that's a pretty good analogy to end on. If you have a fear, give yourself permission to face it and do something about it and get involved. And I'm talking about music or life, whatever, man. You might be surprised. Life is short, and this is your time, and you are in control, and you have the know-how, and you have the ability to really hit some of your goals. So please, just give it a try. Let me know what you think. Thank you.